All right, picking back up into the second part of this video, we went over notes of how to find the volume of a cone, what is a cone, the different parts of the cone. We went through all of that. Even terms of pi, we revisited. So what we're going to do now is go through some more application with word problems and then continue the rest of these notes. So remember, if you have any questions, please comment them, share them, send me a message. I'll do my best to reach out the best I can. So let's get into this with number 7. A mini ice cream cone has a diameter of 4 and a height of 8 centimeters. So first thing, diameter of 4, so D equals 4. It has a height of 8, so H equals 8. Um, a regular ice cream cone has a diameter of 6 centimeters and a height of 12. So we have two different situations going on here. D equals 6 and H equals 12. What is the difference in the volumes of these two cones? That's an important word. So that means subtract, right? So first thing we need to do is find R for both of these. So R equals 2 for the mini. R equals 3 for the regular cone. So same thing, the formula is V equals 1/3 BH. So V equals 1/3 BH for both of them. So we're going to kind of split this up in half so we can have our comparison. So we're going to plug our numbers in since we know R is 2. V is equal to 1/3 pi times 2 squared times 8. So there's that formula. And then the other one is V is equal to 1/3 times 3 squared times 12. Now that we have both of our formulas, we're going to multiply them out and then take the difference of the two to see which one has more volume. So first one, 1/3 times 2 squared times 8 times 3.14. It's going to give me 33.49, and that's going to be centimeters cubed. So that's the first one. Then the next one, we're going to have 1/3 times 3 squared times 12 times 3.14. It's going to be 113.04. Okay. And that's also centimeters cubed. So then it wants to know what's the difference in the volume of these two cones, and it's quite a big difference, right? So we are going to subtract 113.04 minus 33.49, and the difference is 79.55 cubic centimeters. So remember, we're talking application. They might not just want you to find volume. There might be an extra step that we need to do. Okay. So let's look at the next one. A cylinder and a cone have a radius of 10 units and a height of 10 units. Find their volumes and explain how it relates to their formulas. Okay. So a cylinder, draw your picture. We have a radius of 10. So R equals 10. Height equals 10. Okay. You have a cone. Try my best to get them as close as I can. You have a height which equals 10 and a radius that equals 5. Okay, so we know one of these is V equals BH, big BH, and the other one is V equals 1/3 BH with the same information. And I wrote that wrong. I wrote 5 for the radius and it should be 10, so I apologize. R equals 10 for both of them. So we're going to plug these numbers into the formula and see what we get. So V is equal to pi R squared H. V is equal to 1/3 pi R squared H. Okay, we'll plug our numbers in. That's going to be V equals 10 squared times 100, or times 10, sorry, and then times pi. And same thing over here. V is equal to, let's see if I wrote, there we go, 1/3 times 10 squared times 10 times pi. We multiply these all out, we'll get our answers. So let's go ahead and knock them out. So first one, 10 squared, okay, times 10. Okay, that's 1,000 times pi. 3,140 is the volume there. And the secondary volume for the cone, we're going to do the same thing. We have control divide 1/3 times 10 squared times 10 times 3.14. And that's going to give us 1,046 and 67 hundredths. Okay, so explain how it relates to the formulas. We can see clearly this formula is 1/3 of the cylinder's formula because there's a 1/3 there. But when we look at our answers, it's very much true that this is about 3 times smaller than the volume of the cylinder. So if you wonder how they relate with the same numbers, the number is 3 times smaller or divided by 1/3. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into some more practice problems, and hopefully we can get them all in one video. If not, we'll just work through on another one. But I think we should be able to fly through these pretty easily. So there's a riddle at the bottom of this. I'm not so concerned about the riddle as much as I am about the practice. So remember, volume of cones, and you can use this screenshot at work through, and I'll only do a handful of them. That way, if you want to screenshot this and work through the rest on your own, you can. First thing it wants us to do is round to the nearest tenth. The second thing we need to do is know the volume of a cone, and the formula for volume of a cone, as we've just been doing, V equals 1/3 BH, or if we write on the other side, V equals 1/3 pi r squared h. Both of these formulas are the same thing. One of them allows you to go through this a little bit quicker, but understanding the area of the base is here, and this is also the area of the base should make this a little bit easier, right? So we should be able to identify our base really quickly. It's because it's the circle. So if you were to like shade them in really quickly, you'd know what's here. And this worksheet was very helpful by telling you whether you have a radius or a diameter, and the other number has to be height subsequently, right? So that means this will be your height. So just make a good habit of labeling. This is height, right? Height because it's the space between the base and the top, right? One more height. Okay, so now that we have all of that, we can label and then we can plug these things in the formula. So we have h is equal to 14. We have r is equal to 7. Okay, we know our formula is v equals 1/3 pi r squared h. So we can do this in terms of pi, and then we can write our answer as a final solution just to get some good practice. So the first one, we're just going to plug our numbers in. So that's going to be v equals 1/3 times 7 squared times 14 times pi. So we can get our terms of pi, and then we'll get our final answer later. So on our calculator, 1, control divide 1, it's not a 1, 1/3 times 7 squared times 14 equals, let's control enter there. Okay, so 228.67, 228.67 pi. Okay, so that's in terms of pi. So then if we multiply that times pi, that'll give us v equals 718.01. And it says to the nearest tenth, so 718.0, and that would be my units cubed, since they didn't give us a unit. Okay, if I were to go down here at the bottom to double check my answer, I would see that it would be this one right here, 718.4. Because I didn't use the pi number, I used 3.14. My number's a little bit off. So this would go for number 1, and you would put an S there. Okay? And that's how we would complete the rest of this. So if you needed to screenshot that as well, you could. And we just fill in using this bank, sorry. We would put our answers where they belong. So number one was S, so we put S there. Okay. Let's do one more. Or no, I want to do three more. Kind of do a three in a row thing. So let's do five. No, that doesn't work for three in a row. Yeah, it does. Okay, let's do five. So R is 9. H is 15. Okay. So we're going to plug our formula just like we just did. So V equals 1/3 pi R squared H. We're going to do our terms of pi. So V equals 1/3 times 9 squared times 15, and then pi at the end for our terms of pi. So control divide 1/3 times 9 squared times 15. So our answer is V equals 405 pi. So that's in terms of pi. Our final answer would be V equals 4/5 times 4. That's going to be 1271.7 units cubed. Okay. And once again, I'm using 3.14, not the pi button. So the number is going to be a little bit different, but I go down here. I should be really close. So 1,271, 1,272, that's really close. So we're going to look for number 5 and put the letter D. Okay. All right, let's do one more. I'll do one with a diameter just so we can get practice with finding a radius with that. So let's do number 8. And it doesn't give me a 3 in a row, but it's okay. I think this would be enough practice for us. And then we'll finish it up. Okay. So volume of the cone is the same as finding volume of cylinder. The only difference is dividing by 3. So if D is 30, we know that R equals 15. And H is 34. So we're going to use our formula. V equals 1/3 pi R squared H. We're going to replace the numbers 1/3 times 15 squared times 34 and put pi at the end so we get our terms of pi. So that's going to be 1/3 times 15 squared. So hopefully you can see on my calculator. 15 squared times 34. Okay, we have equals 2,550. Okay, pi, and that's V. And so then I'm going to write V equals, I'm going to multiply it with the actual pi button this time so we can see if we get exact answer. So 2,550 times, let's see, the pi button's on there somewhere, pi, let's push enter, 8,011.06 or 0.1, so 8,011.1 units cubed. We're going to go down here and look for our answer. Boom. So notice using the actual pi symbol in the calculator versus using 3.14 gives you a slightly different answer. To prove that, 2,550 times 3.14, 8,007 versus 8,011. So you're going to get close, but it's always going to be a slightly different number when you use pi versus the shortened version. So for number 8, we're going to put the letter I. And you are a third. You have 3 questions done, so you're a third of the way done. But anywho, volume once again is 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. It is a third of the size of a cylinder. It would take 3 cones to fill up a cylinder. And I hope that I made this easy for you to understand. If you have any questions, comments, and concerns, please let me know, and I'll be sure to address them or help you out. If you have anything you want to correct on my videos, let me know, and I'll help you out. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Until next time.